Well, you're raising such a crucial sort of issue. Well, we've had a number of incidents, haven't we? The one in Bury was that 2 weeks ago. There was a lad in Tameside, in Hyde, I think it was. I don't know if people saw Channel 4 this week, but a lad by the name of Yusuf Maki, who was killed in South Manchester, in Hale of all places, you know, and this is everywhere, isn't it? And as you say, it's a sort of scourge, if you like, and it's not just here, by the way. I think that there's other parts of the country as well. Now, I just wanted to say, I appreciate what you said about GMP. They are definitely under new leadership, and the Chief Constable and the Deputy Chief and all of the top team and actually all of the divisional team have got their priorities in the right place. I couldn't look you in the eye and say that was always the case, but I do believe it is absolutely the case now. If there's a controversial issue, if it follows to me, if there's more weapons being carried, you have to do more to apprehend those weapons. Now, I know stop and search is a difficult issue, and it needs to be used carefully, but it was recently authorised to be used in this borough, if I'm right, Terry and Steph, but also in Lee and other areas where there were designated areas where those powers were used because there was a belief that more young people were carrying weapons, and that's part of it. More police officers on the street, that's another part of it, and Bev and I have put the investment in to put more police officers on the street, and there will be more recruited this year. We have a knife crime summit with Nazir Afzal, who was the former Director of Public Prosecutions for the North West. That's happening a week on Friday to debate this with youth groups and various others. So that's another part of what we're doing. But some of it has to be, so enforcement, yes, and we are doing that. But prevention has to be a part of this as well, and diversion. And the cuts that happen to youth services, if you go back 10 years ago, have been very damaging. And we have to do more to put more support into communities. So we're running a pilot, the Deputy Mayor and I, in various areas at the moment where we are running community-led approaches to tackling youth crime, knife crime. And we believe empowering communities to do more about this is part of the answer as well, because they will know, they will have the intelligence amongst them of who is the young people who pose a risk, who are carrying the weapons, and you've got to empower those communities to do more to deal with some of these issues themselves. So all of it has got to be in play is what I'm saying to you, but it's absolutely right up there. You know, we see what's happening, we are worried about what's happening, but the GMPC leadership and ourselves are absolutely, we won't flinch from some of the difficult stuff like stop and search if we need to use it, but at the same time there's other things we need to do as well. So, thank you for asking.
They got the mothers.
I know.
The mothers.
Arimma.
Silence in Moss Side.
Yeah.
They got a grip of the sons.
They did.
Because they were aware of what's going on.
They did. Arimma was one of those mums. Arimma Bell, I don't know if you know, and so she's coming to the summit next Friday. Yeah.
Andy, just to pick up on something there, because you've talked about before with the clean air zone and how we got to a place. Do you want to address how we got to this place with this stabbing epidemic? What do you think that we were slow off the mark with it, basically?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's if you remember, I went to a Downing Street summit with Theresa May as Prime Minister on this issue, because it's been growing over the years. It's not just a sort of a thing it's been building and building and building, and it's, as I say, it's not just here, it's all over the country. So what has changed to make it the massive problem that it is? I do think social media plays a part. I'm looking at the age of most people in the audience. My brothers are both in education. What they say is, when we were at school, there'd be a bit of a thing, a fight or something, or at the end of the school day, and everyone would come together. But then people go home. Now there's videos of it, and people get goaded, and so the next day, the kids who are feeling threatened, what do? They come, do you see what I mean? There's a bit of an arms race here, where kids who feel intimidated by this and the use of videos and the goading and the bullying that goes on, I think end up starting to carry more, and then that's the sort of thing when rumour are that person's carrying, well then that person starts. I think there's something about de-escalation here. I don't know what Terry and Steph think, but I don't think things seem to escalate very quickly to very serious incidents now. Whereas, you know, there was a time when others would intervene and would let it, but it doesn't seem to be that case anymore. So what's the violence reduction that we can do here and helping people manage challenging situations? I think it is obviously related to our own police force, but I think it's societal as well. And I think the pandemic has left a sort of a kind of a challenge with regard to young people and some young people and their behaviour.
Is there any